Welcome, and welcome to the NexGen show. My name is Ham, and this is where we talk to young people in our industry about their hopes and their dreams. Today, we have a very special young man as our guest, who I will call a creative experimentalist or a creative adventurer. And we will talk to him, look at his work, and gain some inspiration and insights into his work. We will now be introducing Ethan Wong. Welcome, Ethan.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Now, you are a photographer. You also do some dabble in marketing, and you're very much design inclined, a visually gifted person in the arts. Tell us about your work experience so far.
Nothing short of fun. I think because I majored in marketing, and back then it was during the peak of COVID. And I started to see that, hey, I think my major isn't really working out in terms of like experience-wise, because I felt that I was just sitting at home in my underwear in front of a computer, listening to a lecture every day. And that's when I decided to find like a new job, like a job while I was studying. And I'm pretty sure that pretty much opened all the doors for me. So out of nowhere, I found this event space, let's call it, in Taman Tun. And it's called Safe House. And it wasn't just a run-of-the-mill event space. It was a space for creatives in KL. And its purpose was to basically be a very open space for creatives to just come by, chat, or we'll host events. So what sort of events?
Okay.
So we range from workshops, we range from F&B pop-ups, more art exhibitions, and also parties at night. So it was pretty much a melting pot for the scene in KL. So that's where I got to meet like so many different creatives. I met rappers, I met fine artists, I met baristas, chefs, creative directors. So it was pretty much a very, very eye-opening experience for me. And back then,
this place is called Safe House?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's closed. It got shut down.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, by the cops.
Okay. Not so safe. Huh?
And not as safe after all. Yeah. So I think back then I wasn't too. I was very inclined in the arts, that's for sure. But I never had like a proper force to like hey, I wanna do this. So when the place shut down, I decided to like, okay, you know what? It's time to try.
Yeah.
So that's when I did a few jobs. I worked in an agency for like 4 months as an intern. I did motion graphics, which is something that I've never done before in my uni. I stayed away from Adobe. But me being there got me like a lot of really good experience. I had a really, really good boss who pretty much taught me a lot of things. And from then on, I started to venture into fashion. I did a bit of fashion marketing work. And then after that, I decided that, hey, I really like taking pictures. I have a lot of ideas, basically. It all started like I have a lot of ideas, a lot of cool things in my head that I really, really want to do. But I don't want other people to do it for me, so I want to do it myself.
Okay.
So that's how the idea came about. Like, okay, you know what? I really, really want to take pictures. I think it's a really nice, expressive medium for me to sort of like do my own thing. And I decided to sneak out with my dad's camera to do all of my projects, basically. So, and here I am.
Okay. So, when did you fall in love with the camera, so to speak? Yeah.
I think most kids nowadays are, we come into contact with cameras quite easily. But for me back then, because my dad liked to had this unhealthy hobby that my mom would call. He likes taking pictures, he likes taking videos, so pretty much that rubbed off on me. I was like, okay, he would bring me to his shoots, so like that's how I got into contact with camera. And I like going crazy with the family camera during like dinners or everything. But I never really took it past that. Only when I realized that, hey, there's a whole another world out there that I can explore, a lot of visual styles, storytelling, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And your dad was in advertising?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. For all viewers out there, I want to say that I have worked with his dad before. His name is Peter Wong, and this is his son, Ethan Wong. So, Ethan, now we're going to take a look at some of your work.
Sure.
And if you could give us a commentary about why you did it and how you did it and what's special about the work, because this visual journey is another way for our viewers to appreciate what you are talking about with regards to your photography.
Sure.
So let's take a look at that.
Okay, so I've picked the pictures in chronological order by when I did it. So I think I did this at the end of 2021.
Okay.
So that's when I just hit puberty. So I was pretty much very like, okay, you know what? I want to try something. I have a bunch of ideas in my head. And back then, I was really intrigued by this Spanish fashion designer called Luis de Javier. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And he did a campaign on latex, which was not sexual at all, which was like really, really cool to me, because most of the time people assume like black latex with like kings and whatever.
Yes.
But he did it in a way that was like, wow, it felt commanding and it felt really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, okay, you know what? I really want to like recreate that sort of as like a practice, like an exercise that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to work. So having no fashion background, I designed the mask. I managed to annoy a fashion student to sew it for me. And we got to a impasse whereby like, hey, if you want to get latex, it's really, really expensive. So I was like, okay, damn, that sucks. But it's okay, we can just go with some decent leather, and maybe I can DIY the latex look with cellophane tape. So that's exactly what I did.
Oh.
So it's not actually latex, it's just leather with like a buttload of cellophane tape over it. And I just went to town. I got my friend to help me hold the camera, and that's me in there actually.
That's you?
That's me in there, yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's me in there. And after the shoot was done, I looked at it, I was like, you know what, like, I really, really want to like try out, or rather experiment with digital art.
Okay.
So that's also me going a bit too crazy in Photoshop. I decided to overlay a lot of textures,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sort of B-roll shots that I took, and I sort of just like changed the color, changed how I wanted to look. So it's more or less like a mini art experiment. There's no crazy meaning behind it, but I think
nowadays we used to say that's abstract.
Yes, yeah. So I just like, okay, you know what? Rather than to be scared and not do it, why not just do it, So yeah, this is my first ever like photo series that I did.
Great.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yes, this was way more recent. I think this was, I believe, like 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This was my first like very proper job for a local artist. His name is Xiao Hugh. Yeah, he makes a ton of really nice, I know people like to say etheric music, but he makes a bit of R&B, pop. Don't quote me on this. I'm really bad with genre names, but he basically approached a creative director. The
Okay.
creative director, his name is Kin. He approached me to shoot his entire album. The creative director told me that, hey, don't treat this like run-of-the-mill photo job. See this as more of like an artwork. So the idea I came up for this was because the song's name was Softman, and was between collaboration between Xiaohyo, which is the guy in green, and Joseph, the guy in red. And Joseph is a known online comedian personality. And when I heard that both of them were working together on a song, I was like, okay, I think I can do something more fun. And the song was also a bit romantic, So I was like, okay, I think it's kind of cool for them to pose. And Joseph is really, really tall. He's like 190, and he's buff. I was like, why not just have fun with it, And it was also like, looked the most legit out of like my previous work, because I've spend more time with my friend Adam, who worked with me on this. He pretty much advised me for all of my lighting sort of like direction. Okay, this was probably the most crazy, not to say crazy, but more of like the biggest risk I took last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working for this nightclub called Over and Above. And back then I had this idea, because I was working under the creative team. I was like, hey, for our launch campaign, I feel that we should do something more, not to say proper, but like something more like eye-catching yet relatable at the same time. And I had this idea in my head of like, people enjoying themselves and dancing in the club, because that's what people go to a club for. And I decided to recapture that in a manner so you see the background, that is actually the club's construction site. So that is exactly where the club is being built.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in without my bosses knowing. I didn't tell anyone about this idea except a few friends who were willing to help me shoot this.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this idea on a Friday afternoon after lunch, and I spent the entire weekend calling up half of KL to like, hey, I need a stylist, I need a good videographer, I need like gear for this, and everyone's pretty much on board the idea, thankfully. And on the Tuesday we shot it, so I kind of had to lie my way through it. And the characters you see on the screen are there are 5 characters that I would sort of categorize you see on the dance floor. So the girl in green is the hot chick, and then this guy would be the sort of like the average club bro you see in a club, just like he's there to fish for some girls. And then you see the annoying couple on the dance floor making out, and then you see the shy girl, and you see the guy that can dance really, really well.
Yes.
So I was sort of like cutting up all these characters so that it's relatable. And it was actually a video shoot. The pictures were more for like just a side thing. So the video was the main key point. I wanted a review of them just dancing in a very sterile looking white background, and it zooms out to be like, whoa, this is the club,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ethan.
Welcome.
Very interesting visuals and the journey that you took in putting them together. Now, I just want to ask you, you were mentioning earlier to me that you went for a holiday recently.
Yeah.
Did you go for a holiday or did you go off the grid? Because I was trying to reach you also.
I think I just ran away. Yeah, I went off the grid.
You ran away, okay.
Yeah, I ran away.
Okay.
Yeah, I ran away to 3 places actually in the span of 35 days. I went to Shanghai, went to Hong Kong, and I went to Taipei. And all the purpose of just like, letting loose and just like seeing what's up with the place. Because I've never been to those places before, except Hong Kong. And I just went there to like, okay, I'm just going to see the place, go experience what life is like there. So I went on a crazy shoestring budget. And
what do you mean shoestring budget?
I think I survived on $50 a day. Ringgit. Okay. Yeah, so I just ate pretty much street food. I lived in a really, really suspicious hotel. But I survived. And it was really fun. It was really fun. And I forced myself to get out of the shell and like talk to people and interact with people. And during my time there, I wasn't really putting any pressure on myself to like create something, but it would be nice. I brought my camera along and I said, okay, if something happens, something happens, And true enough, something did happen, and I ended up doing like five or six shoots in a span of like 35 days.
While you were there?
Yes, while I was there, yeah.
Oh, while you were on the break?
Yes, while I was on the break, I approached models, I texted a whole lot of people, and none of them replied me, which also sparked a nice shoot out of this whole problem, which I'll leave it to another time. But yes, I shot a mix of different flavors of shoots. So they're the more like ad hoc ones, and they're more like legit ones. So there's one shoot that I wanted to shoot in this paddy field on the outskirts of Shanghai, because I was there alone. I just wanted to like look at nature and just like chill. And I was like, wow, this place is really, really nice. I need to do a shoot here now, ASAP. And during that time, I met a friend in Shanghai. Her name was Jasmine. I was like, hey, I need lights. I need like a good light to shoot this. I want to do a night shoot here. And China being China, I got the light within 30 minutes of ordering. Yeah, so it's that crazy. Yeah, there's this app they have, I forgot what it's called, and you could order something and they would tell you like it will arrive within like an hour or two. So people, like, please model for me. I started begging a lot of people and hey, I think you fit good, and yeah, things happen. Yes, things happen.
Fantastic, Ethan. This is the real adventurous story that you're sharing. Do you foresee yourself working in advertising as an art director or something at some stage? Where do you see yourself going next?
I see myself pretty much developing more in terms of production. I will see myself in the director's seat, sooner or later. I'm not too like worked out about like, okay, I need this title right now. I'm more or less enjoying the experience.
Okay.
I still have a really, really strong desire to learn, because I think that my work can always be better. So that's pretty much the state of mind I'm in right now. I'm pretty much I just want to do more. I want to mess up more. I want to make more mistakes. I think that's how I learn most of the time. By hitting a wall. So yeah, definitely down the line, I see myself as a director. I would like to venture overseas for sure. But yeah, that's
okay.
Me. Yeah.
We wish you well, Ethan, and your stories are very interesting, and hopefully you become even more successful than your dreams take you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Very, very interesting talking to you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I just want to say before we sign off here, that I would like to dedicate this episode of the NexGen series, this episode, to the late Mr. Peter Wong, Ethan's father, who was my art director and creative partner for more than 8 years when I was working in McCann Erickson. So this is dedicated to his memory. He passed away last year. So on that note, we'll see you again in the next episode, and thank you.